Good morning. Today I've decided that I want to try and make macarons because I wanted to take some to a gathering with my partner's parents, but for there to be enough, buying them was going to cost me a lot, like more than $100 a lot, and that would be for like 2 each. I'm gonna try and make them, which isn't going to be like really cheap, but I think it will be cheaper. But that said, they are not that easy. So, you know, come along for the shit show. I'm not a natural baker. I don't like following rules and recipes. So this is going to be a lot. But, you know, me failing at baking makes for excellent content. And then there's a money lesson to be learned in the fact I'm trying to do something cheaper and we'll probably end up having to buy them anyway. Hi everyone, welcome back to Hell's Kitchen. I'm Gordon Ramsay and today I'm making macarons. If you've ever tried to make macarons before, you'll know that they're pretty fucking difficult because, rumour has it it's because of the meringue, and so I'm trying to get it thick enough now. And I need to do it by hand at the end. Over with it.
You whisked and you have to incorporate that sugar the right way.
My camera died, so I couldn't actually film that much of it during, but probably better because my focus really needed to be on the mixture. But I think so far it's gone pretty well. So I've piped out 58 discs, which would make like 29 macarons. So, I mean, now we see, and now we clean up while they dry out. So at the moment, let me show you. At the moment, the discs are drying out in my bedroom because it needs to be, like, it's really hot today in Melbourne, so it needs to not be too humid. And so I've got them all drying out in here. I mean, look, they're not the most perfect things in the world, but they're holding together. So I'll see you in 40 minutes when they're dried out. Yo! While my macarons are setting, drying out, I'm having an iced coffee and eating some sushi. And I've been kind of thinking, let's have sushi in a chat. I've been thinking about, like, you know, the effects of the pandemic and how the pandemic's affected me and that kind of thing and how it's changed things. I really wish I had chopsticks, but I only have a fork. And I feel like one of the biggest things was the last couple of years in terms of how it's impacted us long term, how it's impacted our ability to make decisions. I feel like it's kind of really taken away the ability to kind of say to yourself, well, what's the worst that can happen? Like, I don't know if that makes sense. I don't know if anyone relates to that, but I kind of, I'm really struggling to make any kind of decisions at the moment, like life decisions kind of thing. And I think that a lot of the time you would kind of say to yourself rationally, well, what's the worst that can happen? You know, prepare for the worst case scenario. Whereas I think because we were so like blindsided by what happened and what's still happening and how quickly things can change, and just when you thought it was bad it gets worse, and you know, certain industries get affected and then a whole other set of industries get affected by a completely different thing. And like, I think it's really difficult to make life plans, career plans, business plans if you have a business of any sort. Like, I think a lot of people are just kind of like waving their white flag and surrendering because you can't say anymore what's the worst that can happen. And I think that really ties back to money. Hold please. Ooh, salmon and avocado, fuck. Fun fact, I recently learned that I'm no longer allergic to seafood. I used to have a shellfish allergy. I was diagnosed with it when I was like 8, and I got it retested because it's an allergy that you can often have in childhood and you grow out of in adulthood. And it was gone. So I'm going absolutely wild on a seafood rampage, tasting all the things I've been missing out on. Some tuna and cucumber now. Yeah, and I think that relates to money, because I think if you're gonna maybe like leave your job and start a business, or leave your job and take some time off work, or move overseas. What do you think, Pat? Indigo. So this is the first batch. Some of them look pretty good. They all seem to have this little flick on the top, which I found kind of unavoidable. And it looked like it was in the instructions as well, that like the guy doing it, that his were like that as well, but mine didn't go away. So they all have little nipples. But I think some of them, like this one and this one together, will be amazing.
Didn't care about the rules, good on the weekends. I'll be in fools, drifting to deep space. So brave and so stupid, just like the movies. I was gonna say in the fight with you, just thinking we would do this until we couldn't do it. Each and every high, every night with you, you and me so clueless. We were just broken, shattered, singing along to nothing matters. Stray around like nighttime rumors. We were in too deep. In your worn-out sweaters, thinking we'll be young forever. Driving in your mom's old hatchback, and we were in too deep.
Picture my conversation from earlier, because midway through another clip, my boyfriend got home, and then I proceeded to have a breakdown not long afterwards. So that was a couple of hours ago, and now we're back. I'm having a glass of Viognier, which is actually really delicious. It's called Le Petit Mort. No, God, it can't be. Does that mean orgasm? Hold please. Oh my God, it is called Le Petit Mort. It's a Naked Wines wine. Le Petit Mort. It's a Marsanne Viognier Roussin blend. In this excellent example of a combo that's greater than the sum of the parts, Marsanne keeps it classy with her intimate elegance poise. Voluptuous Viognier, I think I identify as a voluptuous Viognier, is the life of the party, and the ever-sensible Roussin helps to hold it all together. Maybe... Okay, this wine sounds like, you know, my mental health. But also, doesn't Le Petit Mort mean orgasm? Hold please. La Petite Mort. Okay, maybe I've just made this up because there are no suggestions. Okay, no, it's true! Le Petit Mort is an expression that means the brief loss of weakening or consciousness, and in modern usage refers specifically to the sensation of post-orgasm as likened to death. Boom! Your gal speaks French. Anyway, orgasms are great, and so is this wine. So anyway, do with that what you will. Anyway, in better news, I'm feeling better, and I'm going to have a night to myself watching reality TV, numbing my brain cells. I've ordered Uber Eats. It's just a good time. However, carrying on from my conversation earlier about the what's the worst that could happen kind of question, I think with money, that's just really interesting, because of all the things you might like use money for, or spend money for, or plan for, or maybe you want to spend a bit of money on something at the moment. Like for me, I'm thinking about maybe spending quite a chunk of change on studying. But again, the whole what's the worst that can happen is just gone, because it's like, well, actually the economy could collapse and I could lose my job and I could this and I could that, and there could be no need for that skill, and I could never be able to afford to pay it back, or I might never work again, I could get sick, or just all these things that like were always a danger before, and as an anxious person, as a catastrophizer, I would have considered, but I just think the likelihood of them was a bit less. And maybe some of the like worst case scenarios that we're now privy to, just a bit of a head fuck, you know? I think it might be my first newsletter back for the new year. Thoughts?